Here we go. I'm back. So, like I was saying before, what we're going to do today, or what I'm going to do today, is be filming some experimental videos because there's things that I want to check out with the Sawyer water filter. I want to see what kind of stuff is inside of this, what the hollow fiber things look like. So I'm not going to show you while I'm necessarily doing it here on the live stream because I need to have my camera set up, but I'm going to be using the old trusty hacksaw to cut into the Sawyer Mini and see what that hollow fiber filter looks like on the inside, especially after like a year of use. I've probably not enough gallons of water have gone through this to like really warrant the fact that I'm going to what's up, Adam, that I'm really going to like want to do this, but it'll be fun. And then the other thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to stick a double wall insulated mug on a stove, and I want to see what happens when you do that, because I've been told, I've heard, I've read, and everything about don't try to cook with a double wall titanium mug. So that's what we're going to try today. I'm willing to destroy one of my mugs so that if that is what is going to happen, I have really no idea. But that's the idea here. Is I've got a stove. There's the dog. But I've got a stove that is the Ollie Camp kinetic stove with the Ninja Prepper 300 milliliter. Yes, this is absolutely for science. But the 300 milliliter Ninja Prepper titanium double wall mug that I'm going to put on the stove. So I'm not going to do this right now on the live video because that would be bad if something like really bad happened. And I just don't want to get hurt. That's a good idea, Adam. Yes, I will compare it to a single wall. But we're going to see what happens with the double wall first because I've never tried it and I've never seen anybody try it. So that's the goal. That's the idea. But I thought I'd give you guys kind of an idea of what my filming process looks like because I really don't spend a significant amount of time getting ready for my videos and all of that filming. I just kind of like sometimes have an idea that pops into my head, like what I'm doing today, and just be like, yeah, I'm gonna give this a shot and we'll see how it goes. Sometimes I film a video and it's just total crap, like just does not work out, and it is what it is. So I don't post those videos sometimes, and sometimes I like redo them, and especially like when I don't get to go outside and leave my house to go do filming and testing of gear, I end up out here on the porch to try to find a quiet place that is kind of secluded away from everything else. But if you'll notice, I live right on a road. Like right on a road, people are walking by all the time, and it's just kind of noisy sometimes. So when I film out on this patio, for example, I spend a lot of time like doing different kinds of editing because I have to change things up, like, or I just like will sit here for 20-30 seconds at a time before I can continue filming because I've either got kids in the house sleeping or I don't want to disturb. Yeah, that kind of situation. So, but I'm curious what questions you guys might have about just filming for YouTube in general, or the gear that I use, that kind of stuff, or if you have questions about the videos that I'm going to do today. Boil some water. We'll see. I don't know if it's going to work. Man, this thing says just a... I have a poor connection. I don't know why, because I have like 4 bars of LTE on my phone right now. My Wi-Fi is awful, by the way. I don't understand why I pay like 60 bucks a month for Wi-Fi and I can barely stream like one thing at a time on it. It's kind of ridiculous. But anyway. So here's a question for you. What do you think the inside of the Sawyer is going to look like after a year or so of use? And yeah, I have a good router, but it's kind of unfortunate. I don't know why. I'm in an apartment complex, and I feel like that has part of the reason. I pay for like 40 megabits at a time. Or, yeah. It should be plenty of like bandwidth to be able to like stream and do everything, but so Adam says that that white strings are going to be inside of here, which yes, the hollow fiber, from what I understand, that's what it looks like. And either way, I'm excited to see it because this thing has been into some pretty nasty water, like down in the desert here of Utah. I was backpacking with a good friend of mine when I first got this, and I try to backflush as much as I can, but like with how fine the silt and stuff is in some of the rivers in southern Utah, like it just really killed the flow rate on this like immediately. So I didn't have a choice whether or not to use this filter. It was kind of like the test to see if I liked the Sawyer, which I absolutely love this product, but yeah, flow rate just became awful with it once I used it in that river, and since then, even with backflushing it, it's been pretty bad. It's not horrible, but it just takes more time to fill up a bottle. But we're gonna take the hacksaw and yeah, so we're going to take the hacksaw and we're going to cut this open. So Adam's asking, you still enjoy the mini over the regular? Honestly, Adam, I've never used the regular, so I don't have an opinion on that, because everything that I've used prior to using the Sawyer was a MSR Mini Works, so the ceramic filter with the carbon inside of it as well, or just using aqua mirror drops, and then I've used like gravity filters as well. I did just get one of the Sawyer 1 gallon gravity systems. That's a brand new product from them, but it uses the mini. But the difference between what that has on it versus this, it's the exact same filter, but they've put like threads on both ends, so it just makes it so you can put different kind of connections on there to make it a gravity system, which you could do with this as well, since it is technically like an inline filter. But yeah, that's the only other like Sawyer product besides like their bug spray and stuff that I've used. So I have not used the full Sawyer squeeze, but I'd like to. I just haven't been willing to spend the money to get it. But the so like aqua mirror drops, that's primarily what I use more than anything else when I go into the backcountry, especially if I'm going in a place that doesn't like really require filtering, in my opinion, like the Uinta Mountains here in Utah. Mountain streams coming off of just snowfields, just snowpack basically makes it like not something that I feel like you really have to filter really heavily. So I don't get too concerned about filtering water, but that's just my personal opinion. What other questions you guys got for me? I'm gonna drink my video brought to you by Mountain Dew. Alright, Drew. Little Wild Horse is one of the cooler like canyons in the San Rafael Swell. That's a really, really neat place. You have to be careful with that canyon though, because rain can move in fast, and if it does move in fast, like that canyon will fill with water really quick, really quick. So I'm being asked what tripod I use from my good friend Smitty. So I'm using this tripod. Oh, if you don't know, I used to be a professional photographer. Man, the backlight on this is really bad. But it's a Quantaray by Sunpack. But I use that, and I've had this tripod for probably 10 years at this point, and it's really heavy. Just a really nice tripod for when I was doing a lot more photography work. But it's not great to take backpacking, so I don't ever take it backpacking with me, but I do use it every time I go out to film videos for the channel. And then I might as well talk about the camera that I use, which is the Canon G7X Mark II. So I got this camera about a year ago almost, and before that I was using just like a random Sony point-and-shoot camera, and the G7X was a huge upgrade from what I was using, because I am kind of a camera nerd and just a gear nerd to begin with. The Canon was a really nice purchase to make my videos a lot better, higher quality, just to be able to, I love being able to film in like 24 frames a second, so all of my videos you see are in 24 frames. Excuse me. But so 2 questions: am I using any kind of a windscreen, and what tripod would I consider for backpacking? So Smitty, for backpacking, I just actually got a like a Gorilla Pod type tripod, and then so I'm gonna try that out. Oh gosh. And then I don't use a windscreen, Adam, because there's not really any windscreens available. The one downside, sorry, cars are driving by. The one downside to the Canon is, I'll show you real quick, as long as I don't drop my phone. The one downside to the Canon is there is not any kind of external microphone port, so I cannot connect a external mic to this camera, which is really unfortunate. So when I film anything that I'm not doing for that isn't just like me hiking, then I use a lav microphone or lavalier microphone and attach that to my iPhone, and I capture my audio onto my iPhone. But I am going to get a external like audio recorder here pretty soon, so that when I'm hiking, especially with a lot of the packs that I have, especially Osprey, the packs that I hike with, most of the time they have like a little pocket on the shoulder strap that I can put a like external microphone into, so that I can capture better audio that way, that would have like a wind muff on it. So that's kind of my plan for the future, just to make my audio while I'm out hiking a little bit better, because a lot of times I am hiking on peaks and things that just have a lot of wind, and I find that I end up with a lot of unusable audio during that. So yeah, the Canon, it's a fantastic camera for the price, about $700. It's one of the better point and shoot cameras that I've ever seen on the market. I used to have a really expensive digital SLR. Like I said, I used to be a wedding photographer, family portrait photographer, and had a lot of really expensive gear. But for somebody that really likes camera gear and has a pretty good education on what things can do, this Canon is a really nice camera. The 1-inch sensor is fantastic, so I've been really happy with it. Let's see. I don't know. Maybe it might be time for me to start doing my experiments, unless you guys have any other questions. There's only like 5 of you watching right now, which super appreciate you guys jumping on in the middle of a work day. I mean, if you're out east, it's after 5 o'clock now, but yeah, what other questions you guys got for me? By the way, I am going to be would I consider using a DSLR with a blog style lens? Let me get back to that just a second. But I am going to be testing out this stove. I just recently got this from Olicamp. I got a few products from them actually, so you saw a video recently, but this is the Kinetic stove. I'm psyched to try this out because I have the Ion Micro from Olicamp, and so this is going to be part of just seeing how well it does in my experiment today. So a digital SLR with a blog style lens. Smitty, I think you're probably referring to something in the nature of like an 18 or 24 millimeter lens, something that's wide enough to be able to hold out away from your face on a tripod, which a lot of people do. In fact, one of my favorite vloggers, which he is super popular on YouTube, Casey Neistat, he uses like a GorillaPod with a SLR most of the time. So yeah, it can be done as long as there's a good like autofocus function on the lens, but they're not always, in my opinion, the best route to go. But it can be done if you make it work. So, and a lot of people do make it work. But SLRs are really good. They're a lot better now than they have been in the past. So if your camera is more than like 5 years old, then you might have an issue finding something that really works well for you. But yeah, I can hear children crying out there. Look how beautiful of a day it is. I'm just going to show you this. Just a beautiful, beautiful spring day. Day after Memorial Day. Storm moving in. It's nice. Yes, my apartment overlooks a dental place and the backside of a grocery store. All right, so I think what we're gonna do is end this, and I am going to start my experiments, and Adam, I will make sure to test it against a single wall when I start cooking on the double wall mug. And yeah, so time to film. Thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate it, and hope you have an awesome day.